On July 20th, 1591, in a town called Alford, Lincolnshire, England, a girl named Anne Marbury was born. Her father, Francis Marbury, was an Anglican clergyman, and as a result taught Anne the importance of religion, educating her in the practice. Most women at the time were not highly educated, but Anne was the exception. She was considered quick-witted and intelligent, traits mostly credited to her upbringing. In 1605, the family moved to London, where Anne continued to study the scriptures with her father. In 1612, Anne married William Hutchinson, a London merchant. They soon moved back to Lincolnshire. There she was exposed to the teachings of John Cotton. Cotton disliked the Anglican Church and preached salvation through revelation, or the notion that God determines who is saved and that good deeds would not guarantee entry into heaven. Cotton eventually became a mentor of Anne. In 1634, Cotton moved to Massachusetts due to increased opposition in England. Soon after, Anne followed, claiming God told her to follow Cotton. She brought her family with her and established herself as a midwife. In 1635, Anne started to hold meetings in her home with the women she met for midwifery, where they would discuss Cotton's sermons. Eventually, the meetings grew to critique Puritan beliefs, even spreading to men, some being leaders in town. That really didn't sit well with religious leaders. In her meetings, Anne claimed, similarly to Cotton, if predestination was valid, that good deeds were not enough to reach salvation. In 1637, Anne was tried for sedition, or rebelling against the government. Since she was a woman, she was not allowed to publicly speak, and certainly not allowed to teach older men, as this disrupted the patriarchal ideals of the Massachusetts Puritans. Anne was temporarily banished from the colony by John Winthrop and allowed to return if she repented her sins. Her followers, however, were removed from public office. In 1638, many Puritan clergymen in Massachusetts feared Anne's growing power, so Anne was tried by the church for hearsay. Since religious leaders were the real authority in the colony, the real issue they had with Anne was that she dared to overstep her place as a woman, fearing she would inspire other women to rebel. Anne really disgruntled the clergymen when she claimed God spoke to her. This was considered even higher hearsay since the Puritans believed that God only spoke to them through the Bible. Anne was excommunicated and condemned by many, including John Cotton himself. Later that year, Anne moved her and her family to Roger Williams, Rhode Island. Many of the families who supported and respected Anne followed her there. In 1642, William Hutchinson died. Fearing that her place in the colony was uncertain, Anne and her children moved to the Dutch colony of New Netherlands. Anne was not aware of the dangerous feud between the Native American tribe and the colonists there when they first moved, and sadly later they were killed by Native Americans in 1643.
Created using Powtoon.